Hey everybody, what's going on? Hey, sorry for being away for last few days. Just had a bunch of stuff going on, and including class for work taking me away for a little bit, first couple days, and what happened with that? In a place where there's just absolutely no internet connection, if that's even possible nowadays. But that was the case. So I was blind to the markets for a little bit, and just getting back into the swing of things, see where we're at. And boy, the action's just been terrible lately. A lot of light volume stuff. When you're dealing with micro caps and small caps that are light volume, it does not take much selling to get these things to really take a dump, and that's kind of what we've been seeing lately. But with VKTX, that's kind of an example of it right here. But VKTX going back to the 25th, I took a position right about here at structure. I think it already popped to the upside right here. And I'm looking at a trend right here. So I'm looking at a low, initial structure low, higher low, higher low. I was expecting that trend to keep moving forward. And I took a position right here, right at the market open. Yeah, market opened up right here at 826 and then promptly moved downward. And what I'm saying right here by this move downward is that this trend's now been broken. So I don't want to be in the trade past about 817, I think it was, that I got stopped out. And then, of course, it then went ahead and recovered, as always is the case, right? But not always. The reason why I want to get out there is, like I said, once it drops below this low right here, you're no longer in an uptrend technically, and you don't know where it's going to go. It could go all the way down here and start retesting 747, 760 range right here. Luckily, when it dropped down right here, it started to find some inside support right here, as well as some inside support right here. That's why it stopped right there, as we can see. If I go ahead and draw a line, start finding support right here and right here. But do you know that? I had somebody ask me on Twitter, oh, well, if recovered, you would have been up. Yes, but you don't know that. And the last thing that you want to do is to take an expected small loss and turn it into an unexpected big loss. As soon as you have that happen to you a few times, you start to think differently about it. So you can see, interestingly enough, just kind of curious as to what kind of a retracement that ended up being. Turn around right at the 786. And you can see that it's still an AB equals CD pattern. Actually, would have been a pretty nice move once you have to take the expected AB equals CD from here, which was the initial leg that I was looking at. Now you have down here, you have a new low, so I have to redraw it. And you can see that depending where you would have had your sell at, I mean, if you front loaded it considerably, it would have actually turned out to be a decent trade. But that's just one of those things that you just don't know. What was the other thing that I just saw with that? God, there was something else. Oh, as far as what I really like doing as far as taking the higher high, higher close method with the candle, I'm not going to explain that. It takes too much time, but go back and look at some of my previous videos for that. But this would have been my lowest close candle. Actually, leading up to it, I've got this low, this low, this low. I didn't have a green candle that eclipsed any of those low candles, not until this is now my lowest close candle. Not until it would have happened, let's say about right here, and my stop, had I taken a position here, would have been a stop below this low right here. And if you had taken a position, yeah, right here, that would have been the highest closed candle. Actually, could have turned out to be a nice trade. Again, sticking with those rules. Again, that wasn't my trade plan with this. It was taking the position right here on structure rather than the higher high, higher close candle, and ultimately it didn't work out. But anyways, it seemed like I've beaten that trade to death. Let's move on to CFRX. I'm just really not liking how this is shaping up, and I got to be honest, I had a stop loss on an initial position that I did get stopped out on this initial drop right here. I did not have it set, just unprofessionally, and again, I just had too much going on and forgot about it. So I'm still in this trade in a partial position, and you can see that this is the move that I got stopped out on. Why did it stop here? I look left. I've got a lot of support right here. Start finding support right there, and we're constantly now getting walked down here as shares get cheaper and cheaper. I'm just not liking it. It's actually turning out to be more of a longer term trade. I know Baker Brothers has a real big position in this. So for longer term perspectives, longer term meaning like 2 to 4 months, it's not that big of a deal. I just feel like I can get a better price. Might set a wish list trade for something down here, maybe the 36.5 with a stop below that at maybe about 35.17. And hope for the best on that. But as far, I do like moving it to a 4 hour. I do like this double bottom right here. I think that is nice, but this high right here didn't break above this high right here. Okay, so as far as I know, I'm just still in a downward trend from that. This move right here, as far as I'm concerned, since it didn't break and close above this level right here, you're just still in a downward trend. And I just feel like this level is going to get retested again here at 36.08. I think what I might do is just wait for price action. Two ways to play this that I'm looking at. Wait for price action if it does get down to this level at 36.10 and look to take a position with a really tight stop below the structure level, say about right here, maybe even tighter than that, maybe about something like that. It starts making new lows, definitely don't want to be in on this. That's option A. Wait for price action to get down to around that structure level here of support, or wait for it to break above and close above that 47.05 level right here, and then we'd be technically bullish after that and looking to be in a much better position. So still in this trade, not happy with it from a technical perspective at all. Fundamentally, I know that they've got some good people in it and some good stuff down the road. Might just have to wait this one out a little bit, but those are the two plans that I'm looking at implementing with this trade. AGRX, still kind of the same thing with this. It's just a bull flag pattern that is extremely light volume, historically speaking, from this perspective with the stock, but just kind of in a holding pattern right here. I'm priced in at 160, still holding a full position, not the end of the world. Tell you what, would be a good video in the future if it turns out, not to speak too soon, but in terms of stops, I'm going to move this to a 1 hour stop placement. This right here got to a low of 145. I had a stop loss at 144 and initially had it at 152, but the reason why is I was looking at this low right here, this candle, red candle right here, make it big so we can all see it. I wanted to get below this candle right here. That had a low of 146. I placed a stop at 144, and I was within a penny. I was for sure I was going to get stopped out, and it didn't. Stopped right there, found support as I anticipated at one point in time that it would, and now we bounced back up. I mean, looking at this thing, I feel like I've drawn it, appropriately. And it wasn't with any kind of volume, but it did pop up and close above that trend line, and then it found support on the trend line. It was broke through resistance, found support, still finding support. So maybe that's going to mean something down the road. I don't know. Moving to my indicators right here, I do keep an RSI and a MACD. Again, just second tier, third tier indicators that, MACD is curling up a little bit on the 4 hour. RSI is right in the middle of the road. Again, not meaning a whole lot. Structure rules all with me. As opposed to RSI or MACD indicators. But I like using them in conjunction with stuff as I'm looking at things. I think they provide to be good tools, but that's all that they are. They're just tools. I can put a hammer in somebody's hand and they've got the right tool, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be able to build a house with it. You got to be able to use that tool correctly, right? So when I'm looking at that, just the same old thing. It's just, when you look at it, it's just a big flag, big bear or a bullish flag, which in itself is good. Just gotta wait for volume to come back into this, and I think in due time it will. ACIU, I'm in this one. On the 1 hour, we did get a break above, close above on that 510 range, which when you look at it on a daily, you start looking at that 510 level, really start putting us up into this gap right here, which would be awesome. I think it's coming, still seems to be making higher highs, higher lows, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, rather than like I just showed you on the 1 hour chart, coming in at 510, there was that break above, close above, and now we retraced. On this one, I really want to see a break above, close above on the 4 hour. Just moved it to the 4 hour. Look how often we're testing that 510. Once, really close right here, really close right here, twice, tested again right here. So it's knocking on the door right there. I think when we get a break above, close above on the 4 hour, above that 510 mark, even better above that, looks to be about 520 right there, we'll be firmly into the gap, and this thing could move pretty quickly. So we'll wait and see what happens on that. I do have a stop on that below, I want to say I'm about 465 or so on that stop. Don't want to be below the swing low right here. That's about all there is with ACIU. NDRA. This one right here is one that's on my radar. I do like moving it to a 4-hour. I do like this most recent level structure right here. Break above, close above. Now we're in a retracement. What I want to see on this one in order for me to get involved in this trade, I want to see a higher high, higher close on a 4-hour with this. There's been way too much funkiness on a 1-hour. Had it right here and it failed. Had it higher high, higher close right here and then it failed. So now right here again, it just keeps walking itself down. So for me to be a believer in this, I want to see that higher high, higher close. My lowest close candle. I want to see a higher high, higher close as of right now above that 292. It's got to be at least 293 and above for me to look to get involved in this. But I do like this signal higher right here. I think it's just going to take more confirmation for me to get involved with that. CPRX, what we're looking at with this one. This one's really on my radar right here. Moved it to a 1-hour. On a 1-hour, I am looking at this. Make it big so we can see it. We've got this higher high right here, pulls back. We break above that move again, and now we're pulling back again. Believing that this trend is going to continue. It's already signaled that it wants higher. Kind of would have liked to seen a bigger pullback right here. It fell just short of getting into that 382, which I'm not a big fan that it did not. I would have been very much happier, a lot happier if it did. But I'm still looking at this. If I get a higher high, higher close candle, I'm going to take a position, say something about maybe right here. Let's just say that happens tomorrow. Stops are going to go about right there. I'd be looking at roughly a risk to the downside of, let's say, almost 10% or almost 11%. So position size is going to be key on that. And I'm going to have to shorten this up a little bit to about right there. So I'm looking at about a 1.8 to 1 risk reward ratio. Not the best in the world that I like getting involved with, but again, position sizing is going to be key, being able to tolerate that 11% loss if it were to show up, and hopefully not. So those are my thoughts right now. You know what? Touch on SP. Why is it doing that? SP. Why is my P not? Oh. Let's see here. Well, that's funny. It's causing me issues with that. You know what? Here we go. Let's just do it that way. There's a hotkey to pause the video. Sorry about that. If people thought this video was getting all screwed up, I was wondering why I wasn't able to input a P. Anyways, there was this break above on. I'll put me to SPX. Anyways, we'll see what happens with the SPX, SPY. I like this break above this level right here. But now we're pulling back. I'd like to start seeing it make higher highs just as the S&P on an overall broader market view, and see what happens with that. But S&P right now is acting a little bit funky as well. Again, I'd like to start seeing it break above that about 2860 level. Can you make higher highs? And I think we're well on our way to retesting all-time highs. So we'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Sorry it took me so long to get back to everybody. Hopefully to answer some questions as to my thoughts on the market. I just see this as a temporary thing. The markets always seem to come back. You know, nobody bullish has just been the name of the game, especially in biotech over the last 8-9 years. And you got to assume at this point in time that trend is going to continue. I think once we start seeing volume come back into these micro caps and small caps, good things are going to start happening. Everybody's going to jump on board of everything else. People just like start playing the market on a more broader sense when volume starts coming in and everybody starts looking at winners. So anyways, I will. That's about it. Good luck at trading out there, and I'll talk to you soon.